junglers that can really go toe-to-toe with with Olaf, with the Gore Drinker, and Graves is certainly not one of those picks.
Yeah, Graves has somewhat been a bit of a bait pick when we've seen matches recently, so we'll see how Aki's going to be able to do. Can be very aggressive with the counter jungling that we mentioned before. Let's get into what IG are picking though, because the Xayah's locked in once again as that counter to Kaisa.
I think right now I'd love to see this paired with an Alistar as well. Just give yourself a super strong bot lane. So then even if you end up with any sort of funny business coming in towards the top side, you're all going to be fine. But it looks like instead they are going to go towards the Gragas now. Still could be flexed down towards Lucas. And I think that might actually be the call here. TheShy has one of the highest counter pick rates in the LPL right now. And it feels a bit odd to go for this Gragas so early when you haven't really seen what the opponents are going for.
Yeah, TheShy has played a lot of different champions at this point. Gragas he has played once, but the most played by far is the Gnar, which is obviously banned. Wuming. Gonna go with this Orianna. It's been incredibly strong, incredibly safe to blind pick that. Does also offer OMG an opportunity here to pinch that mid lane pool and try and set Wuming up for success in that mid lane against Rookie.
Yeah, especially when you're looking already at like the likes of the Zoe taking off the board, now the Orianna. Now, I was going to say the Twisted Fate has been the next big go-to for Rookie, and actually one of my favorite picks for Rookie. I know there's been a couple of times where he has like given away a few kills and stuff like that, but just his presence in the mid lane and having the opportunity to quickly get into these side lanes has been what has found a lot of victories for IG. But we won't see it this time around. Imagine the Syndra is going to be the next one, and then you're kind of dipping into a weird area where I know Rookie has a lot of champions there, but oh, okay, we're actually not going to see it. I imagine then Rookie will end up going towards the Syndra in this mid lane, and you end up setting up for a very strong front to back team fight as IG here, with this Gragas leading the charge in the front line.
Now, I do just want to quickly clarify before we go into the next picks. We are still on 11.2. This is not 11.3. So Gore Drinker has not been giga nerfed. Like the bruisers in the top lane will still be building Gore Drinker every single game. So anticipate that. Things like that Renekton still very much exist in the meta. But it looks like OMG moving to the bot lane and getting Rell for cold.
Okay, so I mean, I'm assuming the Alistar here, although Lucas might think of something else, but honestly, I would have loved the Alistar. It does very, very well against the Rell. Amazing if you want to start going for these kind of roaming plays that Lucas did a lot in the LDL working with Shun, and also gives you a really strong front line, so then you're able to get in on top of a lot of the damage dealers from OMG. The only thing maybe they're thinking is, hey look, you know what, we've got a lot of melee or at least short range carries which would enable this Orianna a lot, so let's try and play a little bit further back and provide a bit of protection for Shun. For Wink.
Yeah, for Lucas here, Thresh is his third most played champion in competitive. He currently has a 73% win ratio on that Thresh, and that's over 15 games. So definitely an incredibly competent Thresh player, because obviously LDL, the mechanical skill requirement is exceptionally high. But over to the side of OMG, they're going to lock in this Aatrox for Alielie. That's going to be a Gragas versus Aatrox top lane. So the Gragas not flexing how we expected.
No, it will be a little bit of a tougher matchup for TheShy, but certainly one that he'll be able to survive in relatively well. But what this says to me is that IG are playing heavily around bot side, which is already a very different style from IG of the past, which would play towards their solo laners. You've got a strong bot lane, you've got one that Shun can play heavily around now with this Olaf, and I imagine with Rookie having the advantage in this mid lane, they'll look to try and move him down alongside Shun to see if they can set up some of these early kills on towards Eric and towards Cold.
Looking for those early kills, trying to get down towards that bottom side of the map. We'll see if IG do opt to go for that style of play here. But I'm keeping my eyes on the top side as well, because, you know, even on a defensive pick like this Gragas, it wouldn't surprise me that much if TheShy didn't go for the tank Gragas and instead went down the AP route that we've seen arguably a little too much of in the LPL. He is up against the Aatrox though, which Aatrox on 10-12 still, or 11-12, sorry, still exceptionally strong, especially if you are outnumbered. The amount of sustain that Aatrox is able to get in these fights is absurd.
And I think that's the big one, is if you're enabled in these fights to get in and get those Gore Drinkers, get used out of the hysterics, and in a composition where you've got the likes of the Olaf and the Gragas who are already going to be jumping in on top of you, a relatively short range carry in the Xayah, you can find ways for Alielie to get in here. And especially what I liked about Alielie in their last series was how aggressive he was in lane. He was flashing in on this Aatrox, trying to make these plays happen. So I want to see now, especially against TheShy, that he actually still keeps some of that gusto. Because if you end up backing off and carrying in front of TheShy, you're only going to hurt yourself 10 times more. So I want to see what we can get out of Alielie here. And Munch, you called it right. That is going to be the AP Gragas in the top lane with the Comet already picked up.
I've commentated 1 or 2 games of TheShy at this point. I think his reputation precedes him at least a little bit. He's gone for that Comet, as you can see on your screen. But I don't just want to talk about TheShy here. I want to point something out to the audience that maybe don't know who Lucas is, maybe don't know where he came from. I mentioned in Champ Select, this guy is an LDL champion from 2020. But importantly, him and Shun won that LDL championship together on the IG Academy squad. Now, rejoining once more, that support jungle synergy should already very much exist for these two, so look towards them pairing up and moving through the map together.
And it fits the composition, right? Because as we talked about, hey, Shun should be pathing down towards this bottom side. You've got a strong lane that you can play around, as already you can see. Yeah, the Flay knocking Cold back, but you can actually use this both aggressively, obviously, as well, trying to go on towards Cold. And when you've got Rookie, who's in a favorable matchup mid lane, just bring him down bot side. Let's set up these plays. Let's start getting these dragons in favor of IG and give them a very clear win condition to play around. On the opposite side for OMG, I think they're actually in a little bit of trouble. Oh, hang on.
Cold is going to be able to get a bit of a knockback. Lucas, 4 stacks of the plasma, but no more autos available for Eric, and Link is going to be able to trade that one back pretty heavily. And you know what? IG will take that trade. Health onto Lucas versus health onto Eric. They're going to take that every day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Although, another Flay, you can see Code really wants to make these plays happen. The big thing, though, is Code does still have his flash. So always the potential to try and flash on towards Lucas and try and make some funny business happen in this bottom lane. So keep your eyes down there. But the good news, at least from Eric and Cole's position, is, hey, look, we're going to get this crash. We're going to reset the wave. So we'll be in a much better position and won't be as vulnerable if any ganks come our way. But it actually looks like Shun is pathing up towards this top side and might look to go towards an early gank towards Alielie, who hasn't been able to crash his wave as much as he would want to.
Yeah, Alielie trying to get this wave in, and you can see nearly managing to clear it, but there's another minion wave coming, so he's got to make it through that cannon before that happens. But a hook comes down onto Cold at the bottom side, nearly finishing that kill off. Cold is lucky that he's playing that Rell that is so damn tanky. But you mentioned the junglers here. You can see Shun pathing towards the top side. Aki has gone the complete opposite direction. He's going to be on the bottom side of the map. But Wink and Lucas are pretty safe in this lane, whereas, as you said, Alielie pretty far up. Alielie going to spot Shun on this ward, but the flash from TheShy to try and make this play happen. Slows are there. Alielie flashes out, but the undertow manages to connect. Can they find any more CC? Alielie gets the knock up, pulling them back in. Just combos Shun down and walks away.
And you can see already Aki trying to benefit off this, moving in through the mid lane, wants to see if he can get up towards that scuttle, but Wuming having no mana, honestly, this may get a little bit funky at the scuttle crab.
I'm okay with funky Dagda. I'm in a disco mood. But Aki is looking at a double scuttle right here because he had Alielie moving down. He's got Wuming that's now going to recall, but does have the teleport available. And Rookie's been forced back to base as well. So Aki grabs himself a double scuttle crab. And we talked about how these teams need to play towards their aggressive junglers. Well, Aki definitely getting the support of his teammates right here.
And that's what is actually what I wanted to point out was I wasn't sure how Aki was going to work in this team comp, because one of the things as Graves that you need to do is not really play towards your lanes, but instead use the priority that they have to invade in the enemy jungle. Now, you're starting to get a little bit of pressure here, and the double scuttle for Graves will certainly help in him in the 1v1 against the Olaf, but I need to see more of how Aki's going to get into the enemy jungle, because as you can see, like, Olaf's clearing out these camps so damn fast. It's really hard for you to get control in that opponent's jungle, and especially when you don't have a definitive winning lane for you across the board for OMG.
Yeah, that's one of the big things, is trying to find those lane advantages, and Aki wants to make that happen on the top side. TheShy does not have flash available, but he's just going to belly bop away from the situation. He wants to stop that recall. You could see it in his eyes. Got stopped on the minimap as Lucas moves forward. We talked about Lucas and Shun pairing up. They've played together lots and lots of times before. And you can see that synergy as they move in to get some deep vision and maybe a couple of wolves as well, because they saw Aki on the top side.
And this is exactly what I was highlighting in our opening segments about Shun. Shun hasn't actually been going very deep into the opponent's jungle, trying to punish them when he sees them caught out on the opposite side of the map. This is exactly what he's just done. Spotted out where Aki is, now moves in, steals away some of the wolves. This is the kind of thing that I wanted to see more from Shun. I'm delighted that we're seeing it now as well. Seems like once he gets paired back with Lucas, that confidence to go for these plays also returns.
So I want to bring the conversation around to Wuming a little bit, because Wuming is a player that, you know, I got excited for last year a little bit because he was on that Rogue Warriors squad that almost had a miniature miracle run. It, you know, didn't really last long enough to be a miracle run, but right now in the mid lane, he's getting a little bit rookie diffed as Rookie is going to get ganked by Aki, but I don't think there's much they can do on this one. Rookie just zips away with the phase rush, and he'll chase him out of the lane as well. That's what you get. You're punished for even considering the idea of ganking Rookie. But look at the CS deficit already. Syndra, obviously a pick that Rookie's exceptional on, and Wuming is really feeling the brunt of that.
Yeah, and Orianna is a pick that can usually survive relatively well in this matchup. You go towards the early Merc threads, as you can see Wuming's picked up now, but certainly this is a sizable lead that Rookie's picked up that we don't generally see in this matchup, and it is just because Rookie's so proficient on these champions. Oriannas, the Zoes, the Syndras, like, these are Rookie champions that he will
the mid laners
hop
if you
off
want.
on. Yeah, I mean, Yasuo, what else? Well, Alielie was a little bit iffy, actually, but
hang on.
top side.
Allielie's in trouble, has a lot of lifesteal on this Aatrox. The World Ender helping him out, but not enough lifesteal. Shun brings down his axe and grabs first blood here.
That's heartbreaking for Alielie as well. Like, this guy wants to go aggressive. Like, I love that we're seeing him still, like, even against players like TheShy and Bin, he's trying to make plays work, but unfortunately not respecting where Shun was and gets caught out for it.
Now down to Lucas and Wink. They do get a hook onto Cold, but Flay doesn't quite connect, and Wink won't be able to find the Blade Caller here. As the Cold goes down here, Eric's trying to get some damage in, but they're not level 6 just yet. Wink is, and he's got the damage to finish these kills off. Eric goes down Lucas with the flash, and now the 2v2. Wink and Lucas going to take down Cold. Beautifully done. A killer piece for the IG bot lane.
Gorgeous play from the IG bot lane. Welcome to the LPL, Lucas. Picking up a double kill against Eric and Cold. Beautifully played with the hook. And even Cold going in aggressive, a little bit questionable. And you can see there, level 6 gets hit by Wink, and they're easily able to turn that play around.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Cold does commit to that fight while Wink is level 6, he's able to just use the Featherstorm, dodge all of the damage, and then we've all seen how much damage that Blade Caller could do when you got enough feathers out. It wins you the 2v2 immediately. Aki on the opposite side of the map wants to at least try and find something for the top side. We'll get the Herald, smites it before anyone else can arrive. Shun wanted to punish there, but he was too late to the party.
And even Lucas roaming up as well, they would have loved to turn that advantage in towards the Rift Herald just off the tempo that IG been able to pick up off the bot lane play, but nice read from Aki to make sure that he was able to pick that one up and not give that across. So you can see here, like, this hook is gorgeous from Lucas. Well, we actually don't get to see it. It was already done. Yeah. But either way, level 6 gets hit here in the bottom lane. The exhaust in towards the stun on towards Eric. And there's nowhere for this Kaisa to run. Lucas finishes him off. And Wink then picks up the second play here as well.
Yeah, beautifully done by both Wink and Lucas there. And finding themselves advantages in this bot lane. This is one of the players that I was really excited to see this year. When we saw the IG lineup announced, I was expecting Lucas to be their first pick support. This is something that I'd spoken with Lyric about specifically. I know Lyric was really excited for Lucas and Snow as a bottom lane. We've yet to see Snow, but Wink has certainly been performing in that bot lane, so I don't think it's something to worry about. But Bao Lan was struggling a bit recently on this IG squad. He's definitely been one of the players that has been underperforming, and it feels good to see Lucas come in with such confidence and then perform in his first game as well.
Yeah, Bao Lan's been very hit or miss for me. Like, there's been so many clips of him where he's completely with spells. He's not really positioned correctly. He's not really supporting Shun either in his jungle route. So the fact now we're starting to see Lucas come in, already looking good, at least in lane. Now as well supporting Shun in a lot of his endeavors. We saw that early invading towards this wolf camp. Like, this is what I wanted to see from IG, where you end up with these crazy strong solo laners that Shun and Lucas are able to support. And then you've got a strong bot lane to boot now as well, because of both the understanding Lucas has of the general map state, but also these interactions.
Alielie is going all in on this. TheShy Worldender was popped full combo lands, flashes forward, but couldn't connect anything. What was that flash, Alielie? Oh, it's a disaster. Well, at least he'll be able to push this wave in, but TheShy has TP up, so he's not really going to be able to find anything. And now Lucas is sneaking up towards the top side. Alielie doesn't have to flash because he's wasted it. TheShy doesn't even need to recall. That is... It looked good for a second, but it's turned into a disaster.
Yeah, Alielie was trying to let the creeps go in front of him so they could take the brunt of the damage off that turret, but it meant that when he flashed in, TheShy had already moved too far away, wasn't quite able to get on top of him, and it means that TheShy holds on to his flash, holds on to everything, and should be totally fine to get back towards this lane. But that's the thing with Alielie, is that he really wants to make these plays happen, but every time I've seen him go for these flash plays, it hasn't worked out for him, both in the last series and now this one as well.
Yeah, Alielie not quite finding his footing in this first game, but hey, I like the confidence. I like that he's a player that he's up against TheShy and he's still willing to go for these kind of plays. As Rookie gets a bit of damage on Wuming, but Cold is waiting in the wings. Would love for Rookie to go aggressive there. 2,000 gold lead though right now in favor of IG. That's nuts. Considering there's only 3 kills, where's that gold even come from?
Yeah, most of it's on the bot lane. 2 plates, and a lot of that kill gold going over the side of IG as well. The big thing, though, is that I want to see IG start to turn these into objective advantages. They have picked up the first dragon. I want to see them continue to put focus on towards this bot side. I'm trying to see, again, if they can get Rookie out of this mid lane. Because although Rookie is winning out in the 1v1 here, they're not going to be able to get much in the way of damage on towards this mid lane turret. They're actually going to give a bunch of gold here as OMG over towards Wuming as well. So resetting the Orianna and getting her back into this game. So I want Rookie to move bot side. I want them to set up these 4-man dives in the bottom lane. Because when you've already got only 3 turret plates remaining in that bottom lane, a quick turnaround from a couple of kills can net you a turret, can open up this map, and give a lot more control over towards Invictus Gaming.
Okay, well, I'll keep my eyes on Shun because he's certainly the guy that would need to head over down there to set the play up as well. But right now, he's looking topside. I believe Alielie saw him through the gap there as he walked past the Krugs. And you can see the respect that Alielie immediately has to entertain. Wuming even started to move up just in case a dive could come on through. And you can see Aki pathing towards that top side. The Krugs weren't up when Shun was there, so Aki still gets to have his pretty much normal clear, just will lose out on that red buff, obviously.
I mean, this is great from Shun, though. Even though we're not seeing him very much interacting with the lanes, which, as I said, I would like to see him do as an Olaf, the fact he's actually being more proactive in the opponent's jungle is a good sign for me, because this was one of my big criticisms of him, was just not getting involved at all in trying to punish the opponent. So I'm glad now we're starting to see it against Aki, because certainly Aki, another jungler who is very aggressive towards his lane, but not the best when it comes towards pathing. So it does leave it a lot of opportunities for the opposing jungler to actually disrupt his clear and gain an advantage through that. Now, Aki has just finished his Gale Force, so in a reasonably strong spot, waiting for the rest of the first mythics at least to come through on OMG. But with this dragon now in a minute, they will finish those mythics, and you're going to be in a pretty good spot off of those first items as OMG if you want to go up against IG.
And we said that OMG, they're kissing the lucky egg today, right? IG's the kind of team that will overextend, that will do silly things in skirmishes. You've got to try and punish that as OMG. So maybe when this dragon comes up, that could be their opportunity to find an advantageous fight, maybe find a pick before the fight even happens. But I will say, Dagda, as much as I want to believe the story that OMG can find themselves a lucky win here, IG are racking up a pretty big gold lead. They are definitely in a good position. They already have the first Drake for themselves. OMG going to look for a herald, though, at very least. And I don't think Shun is interested in moving over here. They're just going to accept that OMG get this one. I feel like IG are basically saying, look, you can have the heralds this game. We're going to worry about the dragons.
But it doesn't matter, because, like, okay, OMG got the Rift Herald. Great. you know what you're going to do? You're going to take a tower with that. IG already took that one bot lane. Anna went to the main carry on this team. And especially when you look at the build Wink is going for, that Kraken Slayer rather than the Gale Force, he's looking to scale. He's looking to hit those 3-4 items and become a monster at that stage. So getting all this extra gold into Wink is actually better for IG. Whereas for OMG, heck, they're going to end up sharing this between 4 people, maybe 3 people here. And it's not really going to do a huge amount. They don't even get the tower.
Yeah, the Herald can't even finish the tower. Lucas flays it so it doesn't get the last auto in as well. But OMG do get to move in towards this Drake. Okay, 1 Drake apiece. What can IG do about it? They're pushing in the mid lane here. Wuming's here to clear the wave. And ultimately, OMG managed to get both neutral objectives. IG need to try and find a fight for themselves. They're sweeping things up. They're moving into this topside jungle, trying to take what they can as they have moved between the towers here. Just get a bit of damage onto Alielie. And now moving towards this mid lane once more. Wuming just wants to clear this up ASAP. Shockwave goes in, but does literally nothing. Look at the health bars. It didn't do any damage, Dagda.
Yeah, I mean, you're still only a lost chapter even for Wuming right now. He's not going to be doing much damage. You want to complete that Luden's Tempest before you really do very much. The big thing here, though, is like, look at the side lanes. TheShy split pushing in top. Now OMG have moved down towards this bottom side, but again, Eric's not going to be able to clear out this tower before IG react, or IG just clear out this mid lane turret for themselves and just happy to trade up when it comes towards these towers.
Yeah, TheShy is just soaking up a ton of gold while all of this is going on. They're going to trade a mid tier 1 for a bot tier 1. But the important thing is this would be OMG's first tower of the game if they finish that bot lane tower. IG already has 3 of them. They've got 3-0 in towers, now 3-1. They're 3-0 in kills as well. They're 4k gold up. And it feels like even though not much has happened, IG are just snowballing out of control already.
Yeah, and the mid lane tower is more valuable. Plus Alielie lost all that gold to the top lane turret. Like, this is not the IG game that I expected. This is slow, this is methodical, this is, you know, macro-based play from IG. And this isn't how they win their games. Like, IG are the bloodiest team in the league. They get all the kills. TheShy has 8 solo kills right now. Right now, he's an assist and a bunch of turret gold. Like, this is a very different style of game from IG. And maybe this is the difference with Lucas coming in. Maybe this is, because this is more like what the LPL team plays like. This is more this slow pace, getting vision, getting control, making sure that they're kind of whittling down their opponents bit by bit. So it might be actually the 2 rookies putting a bit of the reins on TheShy and Rookie.
When you say it like that, it wouldn't surprise me that much if Baolan was the singular chaotic factor in IG. He was the one that was creating all of that chaos, because he's certainly a chaotic player in of himself. IG, though, moving towards the mid lane. They know that they are real strong right now, so they group up and try and push. But Wuming is on a flank. If he could get a big Shockwave, it could be huge. In with the Magnet Storm goes Cold, trying to CC the squad. Shockwave comes down, and OMG have found themselves the fight, pulling on in as they look for Lucas as well. Double kill comes through for Eric. And now they want a little bit more. Alielie going to be forced away by Rookie. But a great couple of picks in trade for a tower here.
Yeah, nice job to get a couple of those kills. However, as you said, tower going down, not really many objectives on the map for them to take, and look at the wave states. It's not even like they've got pressure onto these towers either, so IG will get to come back onto the map, not really lose too much, so it kind of doesn't mean a huge amount for OMG, although the kill gold going towards this Kaisa is going to be wonderful. Fantastic engage coming through from Cold, Shockwave doing wonderful here as well. I didn't think Wuming was going to be able to get that much done here with the angle of attack here from Orianna. Usually Orianna's kind of preferred to be in the back line, at least have a front line there to keep them safe, but nice job from Wuming to get into a flank position and find that great Shockwave.
Yeah, really, really good. And, I mean, we talked about Wuming being this sort of control mage player historically. Really, really good performances across the year on that Rogue Warrior squad last year. And granted, you know, the team didn't do so hot, all things considered. But Wuming had some standout performances, and that's the point I'm trying to highlight here. But even with this win, OMG are still 3,000 gold behind, right? As we get towards the 20-minute mark, we've got this Kraken Slayer coming through for Eric, so maybe leaning in towards this sort of front-to-back team fight style, but the dragon that we talked about is come and gone now. We're past the 1 mythic item spike for OMG. This Drake in 40 seconds, is this something OMG can consider contesting.
Definitely. I mean, you just saw it there with the right team fight. They're able to do a lot of work. The big thing as well is that because Eric has gone towards his Kraken Slayer, this mid-game spike off the 2 items isn't quite as strong. I actually think I would have preferred to see him go towards the Gale Force, because you've got such a like, you don't really have anyone tanky on this IG lineup, so your burst potential off of Collector and that Gale Force is really, really high. Plus the mobility offers to jump away from rookie stuns, hooks, feathers, even Gragas barrows would have done a lot. So I am wondering how Eric now is going to operate in these team fights, because he definitely needs to hit kind of that Runin's Hurricane now to allow him to get the attack speed to hit more crack.
No, Eric, he doesn't operate in any team fight. He gets hooked by Lucas. Eric, what a blunder. I don't know why he's the one face checking here.
Yeah, but nice hook from Lucas to set that all up. And again, I mean, if you're going to be just face checking in here, you're the one leading the charge. It's never going to look good for OMG. And this is the problem with OMG, is that oftentimes they don't really think when they're trying to set up for these objectives. And you're seeing it now. Caught out, done for.
He's bought that Kraken Slayer, but maybe the real Kraken was the friends that we made along the way. Or the mistakes we made along the way?
The slays we got along the way? I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Wuming's not sure either. Another scat of the week from Rookie. Another kill into the pockets of IG. And Dagda, we tried to build this hopeful story for OMG. We tried to set up the ways in which they could potentially find a win.
Look.
It's not looking good,
You just got to bring it back. You just got to feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Come on now, it's bot slap time, all right? OMG, you're going to find their opportunity to come back. I'm not giving up on them, all right? I have been on this Cold and Eric hype train, since I started seeing them in their very first series against EDG. I'm not ready. Look, this game might be done, but there's still time in the series. The series isn't done, all right?
That's true. And also, there is a bobsleigh skit in the game. So maybe Wuming needs to bring the Corki out. He played a bunch of Corki previously because it was the Azir Corki meta. This guy's a control mage player. Corki's kind of a control mage. Not really a mage, but sort of. Look, all I'm saying is there are vague synergies with this segment that we did start the day. And if that isn't a win condition for OMG, then I don't know what is.
I mean, look, it's better than the win conditions they have right now, right? Because honestly, the way I saw them kind of running this was off of a 2-item spike with the Kaisa and with the Aatrox.
Oh, maybe a pick onto Lucas, though, to start the fight off. Lucas gets away the Lantern Shield, and suddenly it's Cold that's the one to go down. And things have got a little bit too warm for him. Now, Shun, I thought he was going to keep careering on forwards there, but it's just going to be TheShy clearing this ward as IG set up around this Baron. This is now getting to classic IG territory where OMG, they got to face check in and figure something out.
Health bars are relatively low, though, between Rookie and Lucas, and they've only lost Cold, so maybe an opportunity to try and make something happen, but it looks like they're just going to back off, not wanting to risk too much. Cold has respawned, and Alielie, you're on your own! What are you doing?
Where did he go?
Why are you there?
Rookie just annihilates him. Now they're going to try and get into the pit. Lucas is low. In goes Eric to find one. Traded 2-for-1. Rookie with the double kill right now. Shun happy to still tank this one up. He's got Wink alongside him. They're just going to finish the Baron off here. So objective taken. Aki goes into the pit and goes down. Another kill for the Viking. And suddenly the AD carries alone. Eric falls. And just like that, one by one, OMG are picked to pieces.
Yeah, they're gone. They're out of here. I mean, especially against IG. IG are one of the best Baron teams in the league. They are so good in just closing out a game when they get even their first one. They'll start to move over towards these side lanes, make sure that they're able to solidify more gold in their back pockets. You've got the third dragon that's going to be coming up in just over a minute and a half, so they're going to be able to set up for that as well. And this fight was a disaster. Like, why Alielie is trying to face check this when you've got everyone else who's gone around the other way is beyond me. And even here, like, Lucas is incredibly low, so you get Eric who flies in towards the back line. But now, like, cool, you still got Shun and Wink, who are the main people that you needed to kill here. Aki flashes in, and Eric is just like, I'm done. Like, where do I go from here? So, again, this miscoordination is just all riddled throughout OMG's gameplay. And it just looks horrific, to be honest.
Do you know what? I feel like this is the kind of game, Dagda, where Rookie is showing us why so many teams are still picking Syndra. Even though their stats don't look good, this is Scrim Syndra coming out right now. This is the version of the pick that persuades teams to pick this all the time. It's not looked good in competitive recently, but every mid laner looks good in the hands of Rookie, and it feels like he's back on top. He's had a couple of rough series this split, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Rookie, last year we got used to him just winning every single game, like winning every single lane, looking incredible every single game no matter what. This split he's already had a couple of rough games, but it feels like maybe he was still warming up a little bit, because he's definitely still feeling fantastic. TheShy misses the barrel a little bit, but it doesn't matter.
Zoning barrel.
That is like the definition of a gold lead right there. That wasn't even remotely close for Alielie.
No, but I don't know why Alielie's still going in. Like, at the start I was like, this is great. Oh, cold?
Oh, Scatter the Weak ruins everything. Cold. Just removed. Eric's been outskilled by the outskill button on Rookie's keyboard there. And well, this is going to be game. IG don't mess about. We're 26 minutes in. They haven't even got a minion wave under the tower, but they don't care. They're just going to try and brute force this one. The minions have arrived, and they get to waltz into the base. Aki's just throwing out a Q and realizing how hopeless it all truly is. That's going to be game number 1 in... Honestly, that was just domination. OMG never stood a chance.
It's the destination that we got to that was kind of expected, but the path was a little bit funky for me, because honestly I didn't expect this super slow paced game from Invictus Gaming. I expected typical IG fashion, where it is, hey, let's just play towards lanes, let's get TheShy and Rookie snowballing, especially against, as you can see, like Alielie and Wuming, who are struggling massively against the solo laners of IG. Just snowball your advantage through that. Instead though, we end up getting into a situation where Shun and Lucas are grouping up a lot more. Shun's playing a little bit more selfishly, trying to get a lead on this Olaf against the Graves. And it worked out. It was slow paced, but it's interesting to see a new style coming out from IG.
I mean, forget Shun and Lucas, Wink and Lucas getting the 2v2 kill in lane as well. I mean, when we think of IG historically, it is like win lane, win game, right? IG is one of those lane kingdom teams. And it feels like Lucas fits into that beautifully. It feels like they were quite happy to just extend that laning phase and say, look, we're going to do better at CSing than you. We're occasionally going to get some kills in these lanes. We are totally okay with just chilling for the first few minutes, picking up the free gold that you drop off when you make your mistakes. And then from that point, we'll be 3k ahead. We can just fight you for whatever we want to fight you for.
And that's been something that IG have done a lot, is kind of opt in towards these extended laning phases, where oftentimes you'll see them still 18, 19 minutes into the game, and we're still playing lane state, because, hey, if we got these really strong laners, let's just continue abusing these lanes, make sure that we're getting a whole rack of gold in our favor, and then we can look to just outmaneuver the opponent to the later stages. But honestly, this time it was like, hey, look, yes, you're getting these massive leads, but IG were pretty quick to turn these in towards it, like the tower in the bot side of the map, TheShy getting the tower on top, and then everyone grouping for this mid lane turret as well. So as you can see from the go graph, it was a pretty steady increase as that game went on, and they just never really took their foot off the pedal. Although OMG got, you know, that one fight at, as you can see on the screen there, at about the 16-17 minute mark, it never really meant too much.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the snowball that happened beyond the 20-minute mark when Baron got involved. It's just one of the things that is always truly impressive to me about teams like IG is once they do get a lead for themselves, it feels almost impossible to wrestle it away. When they can start that snowball, they will end the game so quickly that there is just nothing you can do about it. And we always talk about teams like overextending and taking off more than they reasonably can. IG is one of the teams that does that consistently. It's part of their strategy, but a lot of the time, especially against lower tier teams, they rely on the fact that there's nothing the opponent will be able to do to punish that fact. And this is a game where I feel like IG probably couldn't have just brute forced in the way that they did towards the end of the game without knowing that OMG were going to mess up the way that they try and check this Baron. Alielie was going to walk in on his own and just get eradicated before the fight even begins. These kind of mistakes, IG relies on. Punishing those mistakes is the bread and butter style for IG.
It definitely in this game it was, but I think it's it might be a bit of a disservice to kind of say, hey, look, IG, they only have this style, because I think the biggest thing for me when I look at IG games is just how well they use their tempo advantages. Like when you look at like TheShy and Rookie very quickly resetting to just get onto the map faster so they can get lanes pushing in their favor quicker, that forces you to make tough decisions between, we saw it in this game as well, where like TheShy is shoving top lane, you've lost 2 waves as a Alielie to the top lane, but they're also doing that while they're pushing mid lane, and now TheShy is grouped and you've got so many different angles of attack from IG. It's really, really difficult to deal with, and it does force teams into these hard choices where they make mistakes, and that's what I love watching about IG, is just how good they are at doing this.
Yeah, it's all about setting it up to, I guess, force your opponent into those mistakes, right? And then take them out one by one, which is exactly what we've just witnessed before us. We're going to jump into a quick